Okay, real quick, show you how to do proportions. This part right here is important, even though it is boring. This will be the top of the head, the bottom of the feet, and we're going to divide that in half. Divide it in half again, and this time we're only going to divide the top two. Okay, so this area will be the head, and right here will be the shoulders. The rib cage will come down almost to this line. Then the pelvis area. The pelvis ends right here in the middle. The crotch is the center. The knees go just above the halfway mark on the bottom, and we already established that that is the bottom of the feet. The arm goes to the bottom of the rib cage. The lower arm goes to the crotch, and that's the hand. So this is kind of important, and eventually you'll get to the point where you don't even need it. You'll just know how to simplify it and draw it without having to work with measuring all the heads out. You'll just know where to go pretty much. So, and you can see here that I even changed things. Like I just used an oval for that. I actually use a box sometimes, a box type shape. But yeah, anyway, we'll just stick with the stick figures. To go from there, a simple pose you might be able to, a simple pose that you can do. Sometimes I just start with a straight line. This guy will be hunched forward a little bit with his right shoulder down. So we put the head in front of the shoulders. His hips are still going to be straight, but his legs are going to be spread a bit, but still placed firmly on the ground. So then we bring this down. And you'll notice that when I'm doing some of these things, this line here is shorter than this one here. It's because this arm is going back. Then we'll add the rib cage. And you can see this, he's got the sword right there in his hand. So it's a really quick way to learn proportions and to get things down. And you don't always have to start with the head or with a line. Like this was the rib cage, pelvis, and I'm going to have the head way down this way. I'll bring this leg out here, that's the knee, shin, and foot, and this one is going to be really foreshortened. So this line is a lot shorter than that line. Okay, so I'll make the circle to the knee bigger. And then there's the shin and the foot. This arm is going to come down here. And there's his hand, and this one again is going backwards, so this will get smaller. And yes, that could be Spider-Man. So play around with the proportions. Don't be afraid to make a mistake, and just be very, very loose. Being loose is very helpful. And all you're doing right here is figuring out poses, and you don't have to go in a specific order. Like, if you can think of a pose I know this is really kind of strange, and chances are I'm the only one that knows what this pose will be. I'm just starting with simple shapes, an idea of where everything is. So these ended up being the arms, hand. So you got the rib cage here, the pelvis, and there's one knee, and there's the other. So it's like he's almost leaping forward on his hands, kind of like a Beast might do from X-Men or something. And, you know, there's his feet. But that's really all there is to it. If you have to, and of course I do this a lot, look at figures to figure out how to position them or draw them from different views. Like this is actually the back view here. This is the back of the person. And let's see. I'll erase all that. Another thing that is pretty important is called contrapposto. And what? Oh boy. Alright, let's see. I guess I'll go with this. What contrapposto is, be like the shoulders are in this angle, so the hips would be at a different angle, or the opposite angle. And then you can just flesh out the rest of the drawing from there. So yeah, there you go. And like I said, I also use a box type thing for the hips. Obviously, you can do whatever you'd like, however it's easiest for you, because that's pretty much the most important thing. It's how it works for you. Because we all do different things. If you ask 10 different people to draw a person, you'll get 10 different ways of doing it. So, and to be fair, I use quite a few different drawing techniques for different drawings. So, like after a stick figure, you might actually be able to just go in after you're used to it and just draw the shapes. But it's still important to learn the proportions and all that, and the stick figure helps you do that. And I'm just drawing these lines to show that this leg is coming forward, this leg is going back. So, but yeah, mess around with the figure a bit, and you know, you don't just have to make the shoulders this wide and this that wide. You can mess around with that as well. You can give them some big shoulders and little hips, but keep the other proportions, or keep the other lines in proportion. So, yeah, there you go. I hope that helped.